Hi, it's Kelly from Bailey Academy, mom of 5, homeschooling 3 of them, ages 10, 12, and 16. And the cat, Ebby. Today I wanted to talk about when not all your kids are homeschooled. We don't homeschool. That's why I said I have 5 children. I homeschool 3 of them. One is because he's graduated from public school anyway, so I wouldn't homeschool him. The other one is in grade 12 and goes to a public school. She chose not to homeschool, and we decided to homeschool the others, and I was okay with that. I know some families, the parent decides and there's no decision, but I decided to let her decide because she only had 2 years, or 1.5 or 2, or whatever it was, years left, and she had lots of friends, and so I wanted her to have the decision. It works for us, and it's okay if it doesn't work for you. You can homeschool all your children or not. That's up to you. But for the families who have some children homeschooled and some not, and there are a lot of them, I wanted to share a few tips. It's not very many, but a few tips. So, little backstory, short backstory. I always forget what year it was, 2022, I think, of February. So, like second semester of 2022, we decided to homeschool. I'd always wanted to homeschool and technically homeschooled preschool many years ago. But we decided to homeschool again. For various reasons. This isn't a video all about the reasons, but basically, yes, COVID had something to do with it, but it was more about like the virtual, at school, home, virtual thing was frustrating me. And like I said, I don't want to homeschool anyway, and just some personal and health issues of some of my children, and the way that some of the children were not getting as great an education as I was hoping, not because of anything wrong with the school, just because they had to what's the word I want? Focus, that's it, on all the children, and so my child, who was a little ahead, was bored out of her mind and not learning anything new. So those were some of the reasons, but there's more to it than that. And anyways, we decided to homeschool. So we homeschooled the second semester. I had grade 2, grade 4, I think, and grade 9. That sounds right. And yeah, so then we did all of grade 10, all the next year, and we're halfway through the next year after that. So it's been 2 full years now that it's past February 2024. So anyways, my point is that we decided to allow the oldest of the girls to decide for herself if she wanted to homeschool, and she decided not to. So we are okay with that. So she continues to go to a public high school, although she graduates this year. And so these are my tips for including that child or those children who don't homeschool, especially if you homeschool most of them. Like if you homeschool one child and don't homeschool a bunch, then it's the other. Oh, okay, kitty. It's the other way around. But if you have homeschool most of them and 1 or 2 children don't, then this is more focused on that. But I would love to hear if you have tips or what your stories are. I love to talk with you guys, not just talk at you. So include yourself in the conversation. So my first tip is include in any field trips you do. How can you include your non-homeschool child in any field trips you do? Well, the easiest way to do that is to do them on the weekend. When I assume your public schooler or private schooler or whatever is not in school. So we did a trip to an aviation museum a couple of years ago, last year maybe, and we decided to do it on Saturday. So don't eat my book. What are you doing, kitty? I don't know which one it was. We've done some field trips on weekends so that everybody can go. There was one time where you could take your child out of school one day every so often if they're not missing anything important to go on a field trip with your family. That's my opinion. I guess it's up to you to decide for that for yourself. The other option, like I said, is just to go on weekends or during the summer or PA days. But then they're really busy where you're going oftentimes. So if you can get your child to miss one day every so often or a half day, again, depending on how old. If they're younger, then they're not missing as much as if they're older. So, but older kids can also make up their work often, especially now that teachers post everything online. I don't know, figure it out for yourself, but include them in your field trips so that it's not like, oh, my whole family went on a field trip except me. I guess I should have decided to homeschool. You're sitting on my list again. You're sitting on my list. Silly kitty. Thank you. All right. So have a similar schedule. So we follow the public school, secondary school schedule because that's the age of the child who is in public school for us. Now, most homeschoolers don't follow a public school schedule, but we do because I wanted the days that my high schooler that goes to public school was off school to be a day we're off school, and a day that she's on school is a day that we're on school, and that sort of thing. It just made it easier. So we follow that schedule. We have PA days when she has PA days, not when like the grade schoolers have PA days. We have, we're on March break right now because she's on March break right now, that sort of thing. So next year when she's in college, we may or may not follow their schedule because college is different, but at least for that last 2.5 years, we wanted to follow her schedule so that we could make it easier in that regard. We also started around the same time, and obviously we don't end around the same time because it doesn't take as long to homeschool, but we at least, have lunch around the same time. So when she comes home for lunch, I mean, that's even better if your child can, but she comes home for lunch, and that way we can spend some time during lunch together too. Announcements. I've mentioned before in a quick quick video here why I do announcements and what I talk about in my announcements. I'll link to that below if you haven't seen it. We do announcements in this morning while the one who goes to public school is getting ready for school as well, so that she can, or at least I try to, so that she can hear any announcements too. If I don't start before then I at least say anything that's relevant to her. So in our announcements, you can watch the little video because it's really short, but basically we talk about what is coming up that day, whose date is for which tour, where we have to go for appointments, what's for dinner you could include, like anything you need to say. And so I make sure that it's not just like, oh, we, remember we're going to such and such, and she's like, I have no idea because I wasn't here for announcements. I make sure to, knocking things over. Make sure to include that. And the last one that I thought of is ask about their day. So make sure that it isn't like that child has come home from school and you've already like finished your homeschool day, so you're on your own, doing your own thing probably, whether that's, free time or whether that's chores and housekeeping and dinner. But whatever it is, make sure you ask about their day. Not just a quick, oh, how was your day? Oh, it's fine. Okay, bye. Take a minute to sit and talk with them. Have them share, what they brought home, what they learned, what they, if they brought home tests or work, like take a minute to look at it. Pay attention to their report cards, like show an interest in them. You don't want them to think that you only care about the homeschooled children. And if the other way around, if you have lots of public schoolers and one homeschooler, make sure you make sure both of them are getting equal attention because the ones that are at school get less attention. So make sure it's about equal. I didn't really think of very many tips, so I would like to hear it if you have anything else that you want to add. Or like I said, if you want to share your story of why you have some children who are homeschooled and some who are not, and how that works or doesn't work for you, or if you're considering it, or anything. I love to have a conversation, so please leave something in the comments so I can comment back to you. And if you love this video or even liked it and want to see more, like and subscribe. That would be awesome. Have a great day.